Just a hop, skip and a jump out of Harndorf is Heysen the Cedars. Now here is a pretty unique place. There's been a bit of a secret. We're about to blow the secret out of the water. Alan, who's the curator here, is going to tell us all about it. Alan, what is there for people to see and visit here?
Well, a heck of a lot, Macca. We're standing for a start in the oldest artist studio in Australia, 1912.
Amazing history.
A beautiful homestead built in the 1870s, pre-Heysen. With over 200 works of his art here. A beautiful property, 60 plus hectare property. Some of the gums on the property are 500-600 years old.
Just driving in here, it's just a beautiful drive, even though you're only 5 minutes out of town. But when you get out and start looking at the buildings, the architecture and the trees around the place, it really opens your eyes up to what you've been missing.
It's quite unique, actually. A unique part of South Australia and Australia.
Was it a grazing property originally?
Heysen bought it in 1912 and never ran it as a grazial property. He kept buying his neighbours out purely to protect his gum trees, so they wouldn't be felled for timber, purely for reasons of the conservation of the gums.
Passionate man, clearly, right from this property to his works. What inspired him to get into painting these things?
He was a bit of a Mozart. He was doing fabulous work when he was a small child, drawing, etc. Came here from Germany when he was a 6-year-old. Left school at 15 to study art for the next 8 years. So he did his apprenticeship, 4 years in Adelaide and 4 years in Paris and in Italy. And then became a very popular artist by his late 20s. And he maintained that through the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, till he died in the 60s. It's unusual for an artist to be so young and so highly successful, and for such an extended number of decades.
So when people come and visit the property, what do they experience?
Depends on the time frame, but they can visit the studio, and we change the exhibitions seasonally. His daughter Nora Heysen's studio, herself quite a well-known and respected artist, is able to be viewed. The homestead has to be done with a guide, but that's done twice a day. And as I say, a wonderful collection of the family and the foundation collection as well. The garden, he laid out the garden. It's one of the rare gardens in Australia that's an authentic artist garden. He laid it out, maintained it, did the landscaping, the walling, the paths. And as I say, a beautiful property. But this is the jewel of Harndorf. This is a gem. And people have just got to turn that corner and come on up. And even if you're not interested in art, I mean, it's a magnificent property, the garden, the studios, the architecture, etc. But the art's jolly good too as well. And we've got a huge collection of both he and his daughter's art that can be viewed here.
When you're here, make sure you check it out. I'm going to head back to the park in a moment and check something else out, a Nova Caravan.